Students, today we are reading Weather and Earth by Jeannette Bagnasco. What is weather? Earth's atmosphere is like a blanket of air. It is made up of gases and dust. It has many layers. Weather happens in the layer closest to Earth. Weather is what the air outside is like. How we describe weather. Air can be hot, warm, cool, or cold. Air moves as wind. Air presses down with a force called air pressure. We describe air pressure as high or low. All these details affect the weather. Precipitation. Precipitation is water that falls to Earth from the atmosphere. Rain is one kind of precipitation. Rain is liquid water that falls from clouds. Sleet, snow, and hail are other kinds of precipitation. Sleet is rain that freezes as it falls. Snowflakes are tiny ice crystals. Hail is lumps of ice. Some hail is as large as golf balls. If the air near the ground is cold enough, snow collects on the ground. There's a picture of hail. What is the water cycle? Evaporation. What happens to a rain puddle? Heat from the sun changes the puddle's water into a gas. Water in gas form is called water vapor. Water vapor rises into the air. The change from liquid to gas is called evaporation. Water from the puddle evaporates into the air. Condensation. Why can your breath make small clouds on a cold day? Your breath contains water vapor. The water vapor cools in the air. It becomes liquid and forms tiny drops. The change from gas to liquid is called condensation. Clouds are made of tiny water drops. Putting it all together. Heat from sunlight makes water evaporate. Water vapor rises into the air. It cools, condenses, and forms tiny drops. The tiny drops form clouds. When clouds become full of water, the water falls back to Earth. Evaporation and condensation happen over and over. In the water cycle, water moves from Earth's surface into the air and back again. Without the water cycle, there would be no fresh water and no precipitation. So here you can see the water evaporates. It condenses into clouds. The clouds get heavy enough that it comes down as precipitation, and the water cycle moves through again. What is climate? The weather where you live may change each day. It may even change from hour to hour. Climate does not change as quickly. Climate is the pattern of weather in a place over many years. Here you can see a photo of Death Valley. Death Valley is a desert. Deserts can be hot and dry. Different climates have different mixes of temperatures and precipitation. Some climates are hot and wet. Some are hot and dry. Others are cold and dry. What might be the climates of the places in these pictures? Well, here we have this famous mountain in Hawaii. It's very wet here. How do we measure weather? Scientists use tools to measure details about weather. Measuring water. A rain gauge measures precipitation that falls. A hygrometer measures water vapor in the air. The amount of water vapor in the air is called humidity. So here's a rain gauge, here's a hygrometer. Measuring air. Tools measure details about the air too. A wind vane shows the direction of the wind. An anemometer tells how fast the air moves. A barometer measures air pressure. How can weather change land? Weather can change land. Weathering is the breaking of rock into smaller pieces. It changes mountains to piles of rocks. In one kind of weathering, rain enters tiny cracks in rock and freezes. The ice widens the cracks. After many years, the rocks split apart. This looks like the Badlands in South Dakota. Rocks that break apart do not stay in a pile. They are moved to new places. Wind can move tiny rock pieces. Moving water can move larger rocks. The movement of weathered rock is called erosion. Sand dunes are formed by wind erosion. And that is the end of our story. Thanks so much for reading with me.